Oh, hello there, guys. Welcome to today's video tutorial where I walk you through how to install a Flutter script directly from this amazing website called Canyon.net. So you just want to go ahead and type in your browser code Canyon.net, just the way it is. And you're going to see an interface like this one. And you can go ahead to search a couple of scripts that you want to purchase, and then it's going to just bring it up like this. So today I'm going to be showing you how to install this Flutter application, Cash Rocket Flutter Online Earning app with an admin panel. So you can go down and look at some of the features and services, the app source code, all of this, right? It's inside the documentation. You can just go ahead and check it all out and see how the application would work for you. So once that is done, you want to go ahead to start your purchase process, which is add to cart. And once you click on add to cart, you're going to see a pop-up model that shows, and then you just have to select what is the license type. So I'm just going to leave it to regular. Then you want to go ahead and update the quantity. You can update the card, and then you go to checkout. Now we're not going to go to checkout in this video because we've already purchased this item, and we don't want to do that the second time. The process is a straightforward process. You can just put in your credentials just as required and then make your purchase just straightforward. And the next thing I want to show you is how to get the required tools like Flutter SDK itself, as well as the IDE, which is your integrated development environment, which you're going to be using in order to run this Flutter script. All right, so here you want to go to docs.flutter.dev/install. This is Flutter's official documentation site. You can just go ahead and play around with the site, look at a couple of things that are here. I'm just going to go straight to the point of what we want to do. So you're going to click on Quick Start, and here you have Setup and Test Drive Flutter. And so down here, you're going to select your preferred operating system. It could be Linux, it could be Mac OS. I'm just going to select Windows. We're going to skip this download prerequisite software because for now we don't need it. This is just getting started with Git as well as Visual Studio. I'm going to show you Visual Studio in a bit, but for now we're just going to skip that. Now the next thing is to install and set up Flutter. All right, so I'm not going to be using Visual Studio method because this is like a quick access, but we don't have Visual Studio at the time. So I'll just option in for manual installation. Here you have install Flutter manually, learn how to install and set up the Flutter SDK manually, and that's what we're going to be doing in this video. All right, so we're going to come down here to choose your development platform, just like earlier. You can choose any development platform. We have Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Chrome OS. I'm just going to select Windows because that's what I'm using at the time. And down here, we have the prerequisite all over again. This is just a duplicate, but we just want to skip that for now. And come inside this, install and set up Flutter manually. Alright, so to install the Flutter SDK, download the latest bundle from the Flutter SDK archive, then extract the SDK to where you want it to be stored. Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing here now. So first of all, you want to go ahead to download this Flutter SDK bundle, which is here. So go ahead and click on this. This is going to automatically begin your installation right here. Once that is completed, you want to go to your file explorer, and then you want to create a new folder where you're going to be storing this Flutter SDK. So here it says create a file in the folder to store the extracted SDK in. So your folder name can be develop, your folder name can be anything unique that you want. Then it should be in your root folder, just somewhere it can be accessible globally in your local machine. So there's a quick note here. It says select a location that doesn't have special characters or spaces in its path and doesn't require elevated privileges. This is clear. Just make sure you don't have some kind of special characters. It's just simple as this. This is a typical example of how your directory path should look like, without special characters and all. So in order to proceed to the next step, which is extract the SDK, you just want to go ahead and copy what is here. This you just want to go ahead and copy this command, and then you just want to replace this executive path with your actual executive path, as well as the destination directory with your destination directory path. And this is going to be how the final updated command is going to look like. So you have your path environment. This is where your path is, and then you have your new extracted destination. So once that is completed, you want to go ahead to add your Flutter SDK to your path variable inside your environment variables. So you want to go ahead to, first of all, you determine your SDK location, which you already know right now. And then next, you want to navigate to the environment variable settings. So how do you do that? You follow this command. So you can easily just do this, and then it's going to bring a pop-up model which it's going to show you advanced system settings. You just navigate to advanced and then into your environment variables. And here you need to add the Flutter SDK bin to your path. All right, so the bin that we had earlier in our Flutter SDK, we're going to be adding that directory here. So if the path entry already exists, so you just have to double click it, and then in an empty row, you just press the bin, and then that's okay. But if it doesn't exist, you need to create a new one, create the variable name as path. You want to go ahead and create the variable uh, value as your bin path, your SDK bin. And then once that is completed, you just need to go ahead to confirm your changes by clicking OK 3 times. This is going to validate your changes. And how do you confirm this validation? You just want to go ahead and type this in your command prompt. By the way, if you already have any command prompt open, you just want to go ahead and close it and open a new one, and then type in Flutter SDK, Flutter version, and as well as Dart version. This is going to come with the latest versions of your SDK, and then you are good to go. So that being said, let's go ahead to show you how to get your Flutter and Visual Studio Code installation. You just want to go here. By the way, if you already have Android Studio, it's also a great use. Android Studio works perfectly, but for this video, we're going to be using Visual Studio. So here's Android Studio. You want to go to code.visualstudio.com. You're going to see this amazing site. You can go ahead and read the overview, read a little bit more about it, know about the features, what is new in Visual Studio, and all of that. But for this video, we're just going to go ahead and click on download. So you're going to select 3 options or 4 options actually. You can select any of them based on your choice. For this video, we are going to be using Windows. So you select your path, and once that is done, you want to go ahead and wait for the download to complete. And once it's done downloading, we're good to go. Now let's open the Visual Studio Code that we just downloaded and try to open our purchase script, and let's see how it looks. Alright, so this is how it looks at the time. We have our purchase script here. I'm just gonna show you a couple of things. Here is our postman.yaml where we have our environment. This is our SDK at the time, greater than or equal to 3.0.0 and less than 4.0.0. These are our dependencies, the dependencies we have. So basically, most of our configurations, assets, icons, and all of that, we do it here. And then you have the lib folder, which contains your folders for your code. And then here we have our main.dart, which is the entry of our code. So we have all of these configurations Here we have a theme manager, and we're using provider for state management in this application. So you just want to go ahead and scan through the code and see everything that is inside the code. Everything is just here laying down. I'm just going to quickly show you a couple of commands that you need to run to get started. So first of all, you want to clean this project, and that is by clicking or by entering flutter clean. Alright, so once that is done, you want to go ahead to say flutter get. So what this is going to do is to quickly update the Flutter dependencies and all of that packages that we were using. So while we were doing Flutter delete, it sort of like caused a couple of errors everywhere. So this Flutter get is just going to correct that. So once that is done, you need to confirm that you've attached your emulator or physical device, depending on which one you want to use. And then you want to go ahead and say Flutter, sorry about this, Flutter run, simple Flutter run. So Flutter run is just going to automatically trigger a run build for this project. So that is basically how to install and purchase a Flutter script from codeconian.net. Thank you and see you in the next video.